Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Brooklyn Nine-Nine! And it's over. So, I had just watched all of the first 7 seasons during COVID, and I'm like, okay, now I'm all caught up in the show, and then they announced, last season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And this last season had 10 episodes, and was released 2 episodes at a time, so they had taken 1 week off, and so it was 6 weeks, and this last season was over. But this show is another creation of Mike Schur, who's part of The Office and Parks and Rec and The Good Place, and has so much great television under his belt. And you have this film with this show is so much fun and such endearing and crazy characters, and this show has so much heart in it, and I think that's what really works. And they have a lot of particular really effective gags, like the heist every season, like the Halloween heist, and it grows from there. But in the last episode of the series is a whole entire double episode long heist episode, which is so fantastic and was the perfect way for the show to wrap up. You have the heists, you have all the different cases and stuff like that. There's some specific episodes, like the crazy one where Jake Peralta, the main characters, work on this case for months. There's the one where he has an interrogation with Sterling K. Brown, which is fantastic. And you have all these wonderful gags. You have Doug Judy, of course, Craig Robinson, who keeps popping up every season for an episode, I appreciate that, and a lot of these great antagonists that they have that are so perfectly hateable, like the Vulture and Kira Sedgwick's character, who's just so hateable, and her relationship with Holt is so perfect. And in the incorporation of John C. McGinley in the last season with the whole him representing the police union and stuff like that. And the last season they tried to look at the fact that it's an interesting time to be having a cop show with a lot of the defund the police movement and stuff like that. And they attempt to take that kind of thing on. They do all right with it. That wasn't the strongest aspect of the show, but what really works is the characters. And they're detectives and they're trying to solve crimes, but the show's really about the characters, and some of the best episodes are the ones where they just focus on them. And right at the center you have Jake Peralta, Andy Samberg, who I was never a big fan of, except with Lonely Island, Pop Star, and this really turned me around on him, and then obviously Palm Springs. But he is so endearing in this show, and he's such an idiot, and so immature. Well, he's not an idiot, he's just really immature and needs to grow up, and that arc is so great over the course of the show. And you still want his title of my sex tape jokes and all of his Die Hard references and all those fun things, because he brings so much life to the series. And his relationship with Melissa Fumero's Amy Santiago over the course of the series is the real heart of the show, and seeing them fall in love with each other and building this relationship together is so wonderful, and it's so great watching it over the course of the series. And then you have Stephanie Beatriz Rosa, who's the coolest character ever, and she's so great, and she's tough, but she has some great moments, because she does that deep voice and talks like this all the time. And you have one episode where she goes undercover and she's talking in her real voice, which is pretty high pitched, and it's so hilarious. And her on and off relationship with Jason Mantzoukas' Damian Pimento he's such a fun minor character in this show. Terry Crews with Terry Jeffords, and all of his insecurities and his suspenders and his yogurt and his Kool-Aid man smashing through walls. And then Joe Lo Truglio as Charles. The Boyle family is such a weird construct in this show, and they have a great episode for it at the last season, but he seems like he'd be so annoying, but he's so endearing in so many different ways. And then, of course, Raymond Holt is like the real MVP of this show, and Andre Braugher is so great in this show. The way he plays off all of the, like, of course, I'm showing emotion, and the unexpected things. Like, I think one of the lines that made me laugh the hardest watching this series was like, where he calls Cheddar a bitch because, like, Cheddar's his dog, and just like because Cheddar turned on him during one of the heists, and it's just like the unexpectedness of some of the lines that he has throughout the show is so great, and his deadpan is just perfect with everything. And like Chelsea Peretti, who plays Gina, who obviously leaves the show, like, I don't know, maybe halfway, a little more than halfway through the series. She was a fun, chaotic character, and like she popped up a couple of times towards the end. And then, of course, you have a special shout out to Dirk Braugher and Joel McKinnon Miller playing Hitchcock and Scully, because they're so weird and random, and I love how they're like they're basically the Jerry and the Donna of Parks and Rec, where it's just like they were only meant to be like these minor characters, and they finally got the place to shine. And like they're so crazy and out there that they just bring so much flavor to any scene. And like some of the best, like Keir Sedgwick's Wunsch was a great recurring character. Like Mark Evan Jackson as Kevin, I love his relationship with Holt and all the roller coaster ride they go on. Like I mentioned, Pimento and Doug Judy and the Vulture. And it's like Kyle Bornheimer's Teddy and his endless attempts at trying to propose to Amy. Just all these running jokes, these small characters, and you just love these characters, and they work so well together off of each other. The humor's referential, there's meta jokes, there's just fun action too at moments, and you have like some interesting arcs that pop up at certain times. And like Jake goes to jail at one point and he meets a cannibal, Tim Meadows, in prison, which is hilarious. But you just have all these amazing characters that fill out these 8 seasons with so much fun, so much heart. You care about them, you want them to succeed, and you want them to be together because they're all so great together. Except for, well, Hitchcock and Scully are meant to be together. Maybe they don't fit in with the rest of them. But it's so much fun to see everybody interacting with each other on the show. I laugh so much with this series from start to finish, and I'm sad to see it go, and I look forward to seeing what Mike Schur has on the horizon next. But this is definitely a series worth checking out, so binge this one. Binge it now. But those are my thoughts on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Let me know what you think. Let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.